Welcome to the second season of my podcast. In this season, I invite guests to discuss various topics ranging from leadership, technology, and intentional living. My first guest is Michael Sliwinski, the founder of Nozbe, a popular productivity and task management application. Michael is a recognized expert in productivity and often shares insights on effective task management, time optimization, and organization. Michael is also a friend of mine. We met online a few years ago. We have children of similar age and share a passion for working and living intentionally to make a positive impact. We try to catch up regularly to exchange ideas, learn, and inspire each other. This episode is one of our conversations that we decided to share, so you can also find something useful. Our conversation is filled with tactical advice, tips, and tricks. We cover various topics, for example, travels, including long-haul distances and the differences between traveling alone and with family, how to help our families to be more organized during trips, first-hand experiences with earthquakes, everyday technology that served us, how to responsibly introduce kids to technology, how challenging and questioning everything can help us appreciate our viewpoints even more, and on the other hand, how to respectfully debate with people who may hold different opinions. Without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Michael Sliwinski. Hello, Michael. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you after a while.
Yes, it's been a while. Hi.
It's been a while. Hi. How have you been?
Yeah, good. So, I was just traveling. I was in Taiwan, so that was something else. Apart from that, busy building Nozbe and busy building trying to become an online influencer in team productivity.
I've seen some of your videos. Let's start with this. Like, why video? Is video still a king, you think?
I think so. I think because of the influence of the influencers, it is. And the thing is that also, when we try to sell Nozbe, we try to sell basically change. So to change from one way of doing things to another way of doing things. And I think video is the best way to show the change or to show the difference. And my team actually challenged me that I should start posting more regularly. And they said that I have to promise them to post regularly for the next 3 months. So we are 1 month in. We don't see amazing results, but we see some results already. Mm-hmm. And I have lots of fun. And as you know, one of the key things of me running my business is just to have fun anyway.
Totally.
Exactly. So I'm having fun. I'm learning new things. And as you know, again, I'm a learner. I like learning new things. So yeah, overall, I'm just having fun.
Right. So I'm going to have some tactical questions because I had a few approaches to video. And for me, video must be quick to edit, quick to learn, and quick to be able to post something because I don't have time for 2 hours of putting everything together. Can you share what you use? And nowadays, I guess it's tons of apps, but something that is quick, and maybe you have different principles. Maybe you spend half a day editing your video.
No. So at Nozbe, we have a video guy, so that's good. Mm-hmm. But so he helps sometimes, but I am the same as you. I also want to make it quick. I don't want to waste time on this. Today was different because I was posting something bigger, which we'll maybe talk later. But the quick videos, I like the shorts, And with the shorts, what I really enjoy is this process of editing something to a 1-minute thing,
Yes.
And
okay.
So I have to really think about this already when I record. So when I record, I have to make sure that what I'm going to say, it's going to be 1 minute max. I'm aiming at 50 seconds, okay? Mm-hmm. And then I use this application called CapCut, which is really good. And I only use it on the phone. So I don't even like have because there is a bigger version for the Mac or whatever. I don't care about that because I just want to edit quickly on the phone, add the auto captions, and just post it. So my idea is to make sure that I can, record and post within half an hour. So that I don't really need to spend more time on this. And then later I send it to my marketing team, and then they try to promote it or, do some or repost or do something like this. But the main, it should be like from 0 to hero in half an hour.
Another follow-up question about captions. Is it automatic? Like all these colors and very nice looking?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I need to try.
Yeah, you need to try. That's the thing. Okay, that's the thing, what I like about learning new things, that suddenly you see this different world that you didn't know existed, right? So I didn't know CapCut before, like 1 month before. Like I started, I downloaded it. And of course, as you know, we have these Mighty Fridays at Nozbe. So on Fridays, we try to focus on, personal development and of course, weekly review. So I spent one entire Friday just watching videos on YouTube, how to edit videos with CapCut, which things to do, also how to edit videos, in general, how to approach storytelling, how you have to grab people's attention in the beginning, all that stuff. So this way I could learn some tips and tricks. And because I was already posting videos, I was trying to apply them right away.
Okay, nice. So probably final question on this topic: are there different formats? Because I used to do clips. I don't know if you know this, like Apple. I think it was only square, which kind of look okay-ish on different social media. What was the format of video?
I'm using the vertical format.
Vertical format only.
So yes, I'm using the vertical format. So I'm just, I'm relearning how to sometimes record video vertically, so that I can have the vertical format. And sometimes I have to remember to, for example, record B-roll, this additional, footage also vertically, so that it fits perfectly with my video. Because of course, one of the things that you discover when you start recording and posting videos and editing videos, that you sometimes need B-roll, because otherwise it's just boring, one person talking, even if it's for 1 minute, it can be boring.
Our attention span is so short that our brain requires some twists and everything.
It's just a funny thing about really, I think what I really love about this is this concept of really distilling down an idea to try to convey it in less than 1 minute. So I love this exercise, and that's why for now I'm pretty hooked about it, and I like it.
Okay, that's why I like the original Twitter posts. Now you can buy some premium that you can have like a long form, but if you try to write something and it should be super small and short and sweet, I mean that's skill by itself, right? How to distill it to the point where it's still like convey message, but it's super short, right?
Yes. And I remember when I was in Japan for the first time, I was envious of the Japanese because they also had 140 characters then, just like we had 140. But in Japanese, they have the signs, so they can actually write a whole paragraph where we can just write a sentence. So it was
right. Yes,
they had an advantage.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's go back to your Taiwan trip. How come Taiwan? I know that you have some employees.
Yes.
Taiwan.
Emilia, one of my team members, she lives in Taiwan. She has a Taiwanese husband. And this is funny because we work together a lot, and there is like a 6 or 7 hour difference depending on the time of the year between us. So she's, thanks to her, we cover basically 24 hours customer support, because when everybody is asleep, she's not, because, she lives in Taiwan. But I've always wanted to visit Taiwan. I think the first time it's because Taiwan is the source of all tech. All the silicon, all the chips are from Taiwan. And I am a geek. So for me, Taiwan was always very curious. And of course, as a Polish person, I wanted to see, China without communism,
Right. Okay.
And it's amazing. Like I was, so actually the trip was we were blown away. The trip was better than I expected. So it was. I had much more fun than I expected. I was blown away by many things in Taiwan. Public transport, amazing, and many things are really well done. Like the efficiency, they're so efficient, and sometimes they are just stressing too much about being too efficient. It's like efficiency everywhere. So for that, it was fun, and the just Asian culture. I've been to South Korea, to Japan, so Taiwan was like kind of, and I mean China was like the next step, but I wanted to see the China without the communism first.
Okay. I've been to China in 2006, so it was like almost 2 decades ago.
Wow.
There was like a lot of stories and everything, but I remember this feeling of being lost because we divided our trip into two. So we used to live with Chinese couple here in London, where we live, and they invited us for their wedding. So we took like 4 weeks off from work, and we divided it into 2 weeks kind of westernized trip with like English-speaking people, and then 2 weeks with them that we needed to meet them in summer in China, which was like 3 hours trip and so on. And so for a short period of time we were on our own. And if you go anywhere, anywhere in Europe, I guess. I mean, you don't speak language, but you can kind of guess because it's Latin.
Yeah.
You can ask, you can try to communicate and so on. But when you are in Asia, not necessarily China, like you're totally lost because they wrote the station name.
Yeah.
But it's like when you go there, it's like, is it this sign or not this sign?
Yeah.
Take off or not? So it's interesting experience. Have you had any similar thing, like language-wise and so on?
I used to speak some Japanese. Now it's basically gone. And now the funny thing is, we got the eSIMs, so the SIM, so I could have internet connection from my phone all the time.
Yes,
so this is a cool thing that the iPhone supports like 2 SIMs at a time. So that's fantastic. But very often, like even the navigation app would be confused. For example, Google Maps, I would like navigate to a place, and it would write to me in our letters, let's say, and then suddenly it would change to Chinese letters, and you're like, okay, so now I have to match the thing if it looks the same as it looks on my phone. Like, why would you do that? So, because actually in Taiwan, lots of indications. I mean, most of them on the highway and stuff were in both. Written in theirs with their signs and with Western signs, Western letters. So this way, it was really easy to navigate in that sense. But when my navigation app suddenly decided, to switch to Chinese, I was like, why would you do that? Like, my setup is in English, my phone is in English. What are you doing? Yes. So I remember in the end, I used Apple Maps more because it was more consistent, with showing me more consistent the indications. Another good thing about technology now is that you have Google Lens. So you can basically just look at something through the lens of your phone, so you can see these things. So this is cool. Google Lens was amazing, and of course, the Google Translator anyway, because we would be talking to people like this. Like I would say something to the phone, show them the phone. They would say something to my phone. I would look at the phone. So this way, we would just be showing ourselves, creating subtitles in real time for ourselves.
Yes,
basically.
in real time. Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's amazing how technology progressed. Because when we went there, 2006, I mean, there was nothing like this.
Exactly.
And it was paper maps.
Yes.
And posted with the name and trying to compare, is it this station or not? So it was interesting. We will come back to my conversation with Michael in a moment, but I need to provide you some context. When we record this episode, it's April 2024. Early in April, a major earthquake of magnitude 7.4 struck the central east coast of Taiwan. Locals near the epicenter describe severe ground shaking during the quake, strong enough to make standing and driving a vehicle difficult. In the same week, there was also smaller 4.8 magnitude earthquake struck near New York City, shaking buildings up and down. The East Coast and surprising residents in this area because it's quite a rare experience to have notable seismic activities. I knew about it, and I also knew that Michael visited Taiwan, so I asked him if he was there during the earthquake.
Unfortunately, we were there.
Okay.
So
Tell me more.
yes, so we were lucky in that sense that we planned our way, that we went through first eastern part of the island and then on the western part. So, and the earthquake's epicenter was on the eastern part. So that was good. So we were kind of close to the earthquake, but not close because there were mountains in between. Okay, so that was good. But at 8 a.m. to be woken up by an earthquake, seeing your hotel shaking, and being completely confused what's going on because you didn't like plan for this, and it wasn't like you didn't. It wasn't completely. It wasn't expected. I heard about the earthquakes in Taiwan, that sometimes very small ones, whatever, but this was big one. Like the hotel was shaking, and then having the kids, on in the other room completely, like across the hall, and in the hall there was like a big chandelier going like this. So it was all very confusing and very, very scary. So, and we were on the third floor of a small hotel. So it was scary. It was scary, but we got woken up, and then the earthquake stopped. And the best part was, like, I wrote to Emilia, to my coworker. I wrote to her like that there was this earthquake, and I thought she would like console me. She would tell me something cheering or whatever. And she's like, and she was like, "I'm so scared. I've never experienced this in Taiwan, and
Really?
this was a big one, Michael. We have to really watch out." And I was like, okay, this is not helping.
If local is saying it, okay.
Yeah, so I downloaded, for example, an app, a local app for earthquakes. I got a push notification whenever there was a new aftershock. Okay. So this way I could, for example, see if the aftershocks are getting stronger or not, and they were not. So that was good. But it was a scary moment, yes. And for me, I've experienced earthquakes before because I was in Japan when there was the big earthquake, also in Japan. So you better not travel with me to Asia, because I'm a magnet for these earthquakes, apparently. So I knew how it worked, but it was a different feeling because I was woken up by this. I didn't expect it, and the hotel was shaking. It was like badly shaking. So in that sense, it was kind of spooky.
You already answered my next question. If you experienced earthquake before, I don't know how I would react, but I will tell you anecdote. In my team, I have people across the globe and so on, and a few of them are in New York.
Okay.
And for the first time ever, I was on a Zoom call with someone from New York, and we talked, and she was laughing and so on. All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh my God." And the screen froze. And I was like, okay, maybe something happened and so on. And then it was seconds after it unfroze. And she's like, "I think we have earthquake. I think I need to go." I was like, okay, like, do whatever you need. I don't know what to say. And then she was like, "I think we are fine." I don't know if you know, there was 4 point something, like quite small, but still you could feel it.
Yeah.
And for first time ever, I had experienced, not myself, but someone on the other side in real time when there was an action. So it was also kind of like, not really scary, but kind of weird. It's like, okay, what should I say? Like, just go and save yourself.
I'm going to give you an anecdote of my first earthquake. I was in Japan, and it was 18th floor. So it was a very high hotel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was in my underpants only because I just woke up and I was working on something because I was preparing myself for the meetings I was supposed to take. And it was like at 12 o'clock. So it was like noon. And I was like, okay, maybe I should go get something to eat because, I was just woke up. I started, working, I was dizzy because of the jet lag and everything. And then I'm like, oh, I'm dizzy. Ooh. And then I was like, no, the building is dizzy. I was like, I thought I was dizzy because I didn't eat, because of the jet lag, whatever. But then I saw the whole building shake and I was like, okay, it's not just me being dizzy. And then, I stood up and I was like, so what do I do? I'm on the 18th floor in just underpants. Like, do I dress? Do I not dress? Do I run for life? Like, what do I do? It was the pre-shock of the big earthquake, so it wasn't really bad. But I remember, like, I was so confused. And the thing is that so the worst part about earthquakes is that there is nowhere to go. Like,
Right.
Earth is shaking below you. Like, like there is no way to go. Basically, there's no way to escape this. You can jump for a second, but that's it.
Yes,
it's
I mean, it's interesting because you would say I could go out of the building, but building may collapse on you, so you might be actually safer inside the building because they probably know how to build it and so on, right?
Yeah. So that was I posted a video about this in my short, one of my shorts about the Taiwan that. They really made the cool thing that they did after the 1999 earthquake, which was very deadly, is that they really focused on changing the legislature so that you cannot build buildings poorly. You have to meet certain standards. They have these steel frames, so even the buildings that collapsed, there were only a few buildings that collapsed, and even these buildings just collapsed on the side, so that people in the buildings survived because the building didn't collapse on themselves. Like, it's just bent, but like the Tower of Pisa. But it didn't just completely collapse. So in that sense, they really did their homework.
Staying in topic of travel. Individual traveling versus traveling with family. So I know you're trying to be minimalist, and I still have like nomadic backpack, but I try to pack just for 1 week, just backpack only.
Cool.
But going with family, it's a different story.
Going with family is awful. I mean, I love it. I love my family. Don't get me wrong, but they going with them in luggage is annoying because I can pack minimal, and I love it, and I prefer backpack only as well. But with them, there's no chance. The cool thing is that one of my achievements, I can tell you, and I recommend this to everyone else, is to teach your family to use pouches.
Okay.
Because, and again, I have a short video about this also. It was fun. The thing is, when you have pouches, the cool thing is that, and then color code them. So, for example, you have the red pouches, and you have the beige pouches, and you have the black pouches, so that when you have, for example, like a big suitcase with luggage, when you open it up, everybody takes their pouch. They take their pouches. Okay. They make sure that they put things back in the pouches. That there is a dedicated pouch for the dirty clothing. Yep. So this way, really everyone takes care of their pouches. So it's kind of like you have not backpacks, but you have different packages, but then you can put them together in one suitcase. And people, and even in our case, the little one, the 7-year-old Liliana, she knew which pouch was hers. She knew where to find her underpants, how to find her change of socks. Like, she knew that because she knew where to look. There's no going through the stuff. So also when you travel, and then, for example, you have sometimes we have one hotel room, sometimes we have 2 hotel rooms because we're a family of 5. So in that sense, we can just take the main luggage still to our room, and the kids just take their pouches and just go with their pouches to their room. And then they bring their pouches back, and we just put them back in the suitcase. So for me, pouches is the way to travel with the family.
This is super cool trick, because I guess you combine both worlds. Like, you try to be still teaching kids to be kind of minimalistic. This is your pouch. Try to be in charge of it.
Yes.
But on the other side, I can also confirm, like, traveling with family, as much as I love them, it's somehow difficult. But you have this containerization, I guess. You have a lot of smaller pouches that you distribute when you land, and then you pack everything to bigger luggage and just take it or ship it or something. Okay, that's great.
One of my favorite companies that does these things for travel. I mean, Nomadic is a very good company. I have my first compression pouch was also from Nomadic, but I really like right now stuff by Peak Design. They have, for example, very nice pouches, and they have like lots of cool gear. So, for example, I'm always traveling with a Peak Design a case for my iPhone and this bicycle. So that I can so that I can just connect my iPhone to the bicycle. So, for example, even when I rent a bicycle from like a city bike or whatever, I can just put my iPhone there and have navigation and stuff. So, and I also have a tech pouch by them for my for all the cables. So, again, traveling with family, I have all the cables, but for the bigger kids, if they have their own devices, I give them their dedicated charger and their dedicated cable. And also I tell them, you take care of this. This is your cable. If you lose it, we have problems, because you are supposed to, and this way they know, and then they have their dedicated cable and charger.
That's perfect segue, because I was having another question. You basically pack it, but you give them and say like, you're in charge, don't lose it.
Yes. So for example, for my biggest daughter, she's 15. So for her, I actually prepared a small tech pouch. So she has a dedicated charger, cables, and everything. So this way, she doesn't have to ask me for anything. She's not allowed to ask me even. Like, she has her own stuff. And also I'm teaching her that she has to be mindful to remember to keep this stuff in this pouch. So even when she takes something out, she uses the thing to charge, she has to make sure to pack it back. So this way that she has this trust that whenever she takes the pouch, everything is in there.
Yes, yeah. Getting into habit, right?
Yes.
The worst case is like you fly somewhere on the second half of globe and nothing is there. Right?
I mean, we have to remind, the listeners that one of the key things, if you're a tech geek especially, or not even tech geek, if you're a person traveling with technology, you should have double the chargers and cables.
Yeah, of course.
The tech pouch, where you put all your cables and stuff, it should be always packed. Like, you should, you mustn't take stuff from it at home. At home, you use different setup. For my wife, for example, I recently also created a pouch for her, like just with her charger and everything. And I bought now you can buy these very cool gun chargers that are pretty powerful, like 60 watts, and they are pretty small. So with USB-C, right? So for example, one of the chargers that I bought her is so powerful. It's a 60 watt, and it's very small. It charges her laptop that her company gave her, So because, as you know, Windows laptops have really awful chargers, like awful, like big bricks, big bricks with big cables. And she has one of these, And I told her, like, don't carry it because this is awful, It takes too much space. It doesn't make sense. And with this, GAN charger, she can, because we tested it, she can charge both the laptop, or she can charge the iPad if she carries the iPad with her, or her iPhone. So she has everything, and also her Apple Watch. And again, for the Apple Watch, because Apple Watch has a dedicated charger, I had to buy a special cable for her. So I have several, Apple Watch cables. But again, this is the way that she has one pouch, and she knows that whenever she goes out, on a travel, she just takes her pouch. And she can charge anything she wants, And my wife is traveling sometimes also for business or teaching something. So she now knows that she just takes her laptop and she takes this travel pouch, and everything is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Old saying, 2 is 1, 1 is none, right?
Yeah.
If you miss something and you have to travel to buy and everything, it's going to be problematic.
Of course. Especially, you will find out, right before you need it, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, but just to recap for listeners, like, it's good to have the separate pouch that you don't touch, and it's for traveling, and your office or home setup is different.
Yes.
You use just different equipment.
Yeah, so I know it sounds wasteful that you have to buy additional charger, additional cables, but I promise you, this is the way.
Exactly. Especially if you travel or you work remotely, which doesn't need to be from home and so on.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be good investment.
Yeah.
That's a good segue of topic that is technology and kids.
Yeah.
I was quite, I would say, conservative. So my Daniel is 10, Isabella is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought them iPad during pandemic because, it was learn from home and so on. So they have this, but I just thinking about phone for Daniel. He's changing to secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure that he's got phone or maybe watch. How did you approach this? I know that your family is quite savvy technologically.
Yeah.
How do you approach kids and technology, especially phones? Because iPad is, I think, is different category, but phones,
so
right?
iPad is completely different. So the thing with the iPad is that the kids love their iPads, but with iPads we can put screen time and we can decide, when they can use it. So, and in our family it has worked well. So on some travels we don't even allow them to take iPads, so that, that they get more involved with us and everything, and they got used to it. That sometimes they cannot take the iPads. It's worse when we have to fly somewhere, because when we have to fly somewhere, they want to use the iPads.
Yes.
So in that sense, but with the phones, so I've been pretty conservative in that sense that I didn't want them to have phones early. We have used successfully Apple Watches. So there is this family setup for the Apple Watch, and all two from our three daughters have had Apple Watches. I mean, the eldest now has an iPhone, but the middle one still, and she's almost 12. She still doesn't have an iPhone. She still has the Apple Watch with cellular. So, and we are paying like €7 per month for this cellular connection, so that she can call us and then we know where she is. So in that sense, I am still pretty conservative because she still doesn't have the phone.
Right.
But now she's beginning to want one a lot. So I'm thinking of giving her my very, very old iPhone SE, just to see how this goes. My bigger daughter, so she got also first iPhone SE. We actually, I have a blog on my blog post where we actually changed the battery of the iPhone SE to make sure.
Right.
So on Amazon, you could buy like a set for, I think, the battery with the whole kit. To change it for €20, I bought it, and we managed to swap the battery ourselves, which was like a cool project together, and we didn't destroy the phone, so that's good. And really the change was massive. Like after a whole day with the phone at school, she would come back from school and she would have still 60%. So it was just really good.
Okay, nice.
In that sense, she had it, but iPhone SE has an awful camera, like really bad, and the kids use cameras all the time. So in the end, I bought her a refurbished iPhone 11.
Okay.
So again, I'm not this kind of, even though I have the coolest tech, I have the iPhone 15 and iPad Pro and blah blah blah, I didn't buy her the latest iPhone. I bought her iPhone 11 refurbished. Again, because for her it's fine. She likes the yellow color because it's a yellow phone. So anyway, it was all yellow. So she loves it. But and it's good enough. iPhone 11 already has a very good camera. So it has a very good camera. She takes good photos. It has lots of space. So it's enough for her, And she loves it. Like she's really happy with the phone, and she's not really that much connected to the phone. I mean, she uses it a lot. She uses a lot of WhatsApp, for example, to communicate with friends. But apart from that, she can really also detach herself from the phone. So that's good. So the middle one will probably get an iPhone soon, and the little one, no way. So, I would encourage you in the case of Daniel to maybe for a year more. Try to get him, the Apple Watch SE.
Apple Watch,
and with the cellular connection. Do your research. Like if this is something, but it works pretty good. This way, he can call you. You know where he is because Find My works and all that stuff works.
Exactly.
So, very often they would call me. For example, if I would pick them up from school, they would call me, "Daddy, where are you? Because we are already out, or where should we go, or blah blah blah." So in that sense, it worked. Of course, it's not very cool to have longer conversations when you talk to your wrist, but for that purpose, like to be in touch, and my daughter, she told me that. it makes a difference because she's not glued to the screen, just like other kids.
Totally.
Because
totally,
on
yes.
Apple Watch, there's not much you can do. Like there are a few games and a few things, and of course the kids, they will just find out all the ways you can use Apple Watch for that. So there are things that you can do with Siri on Apple Watch that I never knew that you could do it. You could do them. You know? I learned them from my kids, of course.
Okay.
But that's the thing. So I think the Apple Watch is a better way still if really he doesn't need the phone. But all you need is connection with him and just making sure that he has, he can call you, message you, or be in touch. The moment where the kids, where most of the kids have phones, it's hard to resist because then they have the WhatsApp groups and all that stuff. So in that sense, like for example, our eldest, she already wanted to be in touch and she felt left out because there was a WhatsApp group of her friends and she wasn't there. So that it was also one of the reasons we got her a phone, because she wanted to be in these WhatsApp groups.
I've been thinking, because Daniel is changing schools and there is a little bit of a peer pressure. And really from my experience, from my perspective, I just want to stay in touch, which watch is just good, right?
Yeah,
good enough.
And you can try the watch if after a few months, he really wants the phone, then you get him the phone and he can still use the watch, for fitness and for all that stuff. So
exactly,
so watch is still useful, but just think about it. I went with the family setup initially and I was very happy with that.
Okay, so a tactical question, because I never explored this. So you have extra profile on your phone, and then you can switch it if Daniel has separate phone for it?
In the Watch app, you can add a watch for your family member.
Okay.
And then, because it asks you, do you want to configure your watch or watch for your family member? And then you're for a family member, and then you get through all these things. And then initially, and it depends where you get the SIM, the cellular connection. Either you can do it through your provider, maybe if they let you do this, or there are companies like TruePhone or other companies where you can just order a SIM online and then download the profile to your phone, and then it automatically goes there. But the main thing is that you have this Watch app on your iPhone where you manage this Apple Watch.
Nice. Okay. Speaking of phones, I'm still on my Mini 12.
Yeah.
And I know that you love this phone.
Oh, yes.
And I read you change your mind on form factor. Like, what happened?
Yeah. So
did you grow?
No, I didn't grow better hands. No, that's not true. I have still tiny hands as I did, and I love the Mini form factor. The thing that was annoying for me was, first of all, the battery life wasn't that good. Second of all, there were things like from photos and stuff that I was missing out already, and I really wanted to try and I'm a geek, so I run Nozbe, where we try to be on the cutting edge. So for example, I wanted to try the always on display to see how it works.
Okay.
And for me, the killer feature of the iPhone, of the 15 Pro, is the action button, which I really like.
Okay.
So so I changed completely. I used to have a small watch as well, and now I have the Apple Watch Ultra. So again, I have the big watch, and I have the big the iPhone Pro, not the Pro Max, the iPhone Pro. The cool thing is the iPhone Pro is a little bit lighter because of the titanium, and I have a very light mousse slim case, which is very light and very slim. So I don't feel like it's that much bigger. Like, it is big, but it's enough. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, and it doesn't weigh as much as my phone used to weigh. Like the 13 Pro with my case would weigh more, So the 15 Pro is lighter. Of course, if I put it in a big design case, which I also use sometimes for the when I travel with the bike, then it's a little bit bulkier and heavier. But my day-to-day case is the mousse case, which is very, very slim. So this way, I don't feel like it's that big. But for me, the trade-off of also the 120 hertz, the ProMotion, like
Right.
everything. I wanted to have all the features, So after being like 2 years with the Mini, I decided, to have all the features and go with the 15 Pro. So that's why.
Do you think Apple will come back to this Mini factor?
I don't think so, because the problem with Mini is that it didn't sell well because people want bigger screens. And the problem with Mini was that it wasn't a Mini Pro. Like, it didn't have the Pro features, because my ideal phone would be the Mini
small.
Pro,
Yeah.
the small form factor, but with all the Pro features, which is really not possible to do, because then you have a very small battery and then you suffer. So in that sense, I think the Mini form factor is gone. I still have my 13 Mini here as a test device. And I don't want to sell it because I just want to keep it. I want to have it, and maybe I will use it for my daughters, or maybe I'll just use it in my secondary phone for testing, and just to have it. I really like it.
Yeah. I still have my 12 Mini. I'm too used to basically this phone. I have my company phone, which is 13, and it's a little bit bigger, not this super big, but it's already feeling strange. Like I can operate my Mini with one hand, and it's so good. I love Mini form factor.
Yes.
Like my best phone was, I don't know if you remember Pan Pre.
Yes.
Or Pre.
Yeah.
That was my perfect phone. Like that was so sentimental and everything.
Yeah.
But Apple is not going to resurrect. I mean, that's shame. We'll see, maybe.
Yeah, but now they have now they are selling the 15 Plus, which is like a 15 but bigger. So you don't have so if you want a big phone for 15, then you don't have to go with the Pro Max. Right. And I think this sells much better than the Mini. That's why they didn't, they canceled the Mini. My wife uses the Pro Max. She has the big screen. But because she has purses, so she puts the phone in the purse. I am a guy. I don't use purses, so I want to be able to put it in my pocket, and not feel it too much. So that's why I still, make sure, as I said, to keep the phone as light as possible. So that's why it's a thin case, and I cannot, do you use the iPhone caseless, or do you have a case?
I have case. It's basically very small case that prevents from drops.
Exactly.
I would like to use without case because it's so beautiful and everything, and it's smaller. But then I know that some people use very like foldable things and so on. So I recently switched to this MagSafe because battery is not the strongest side of this phone. So I sometimes attach some like Anchor extra battery. But to me, like the smaller the better.
Yeah. I also have this. That's why I have this slim case as well. So that it's the slimmest and it's the lightest. It's like the case is 20 grams, so it's really, really light. And I also have it with MagSafe because I have all this MagSafe accessories. I love this MagSafe accessories. So in that sense, I cannot give them up now. But using the phone without case stresses me out. Because when it falls down, it's going to shatter, or maybe it will not shatter, but it might, and I just don't want that. So, and my phone has already been on the floor several times. So, and nothing happened because of the case. So, thanks to the case. So, no, I tried several times using it without a case, but no. And as you said, it is so nice and so cool, but nope.
While we are in technology topic, what do you think about AI?
Oh man,
will it take our jobs? I seen I think post from today where there is like so many tools, but the recent tools, like you just prompt and you can generate like videos, voiceover, everything. Crazy times.
Yeah, I'm scared, man. Like today's like today I was, I recorded this new episode of my like the first actually video for my new YouTube channel where I have two Michaels arguing. I have these two Michaels personas arguing about meetings, which was cool. It was very nice experiment. I really loved it. And then I watched this and I'm like, why do I even bother? Why do I even bother to have like career as an influencer where you can just create videos out of nothing now.
Generate.
Like, we can just generate videos. So to me, it's scary. It's scary because it's uncharted territory. There is like, at Nozbe, for example, we're not using AI still, which we have to catch up because everybody expects now AI everywhere. So it's kind of, you expect AI, but I want this to be useful and to make sense. I don't want it just to have it. So in that sense, but it's scary. Like it's scary, and also scary in the sense that for me, as you know, one of my values is trust, and it's hard to trust the fake videos, the deep fakes, like all that stuff. Like think about it. If this technology is so well done, I can basically ask my team to create any video with me talking about anything.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Like,
yes.
And also, Michael Sadowski also posted once that there is this AI thing for translation even. So this way,
exactly,
I can speak in perfect Chinese, and I can in Chinese explain everything. Like if I really spoke Chinese, and this can be done by a prompt by one of my coworkers. Oh man! Like on one hand, it's mind-blowing and very cool, but on the other, like the trust factor,
exactly,
I'm scared.
I'm in the same boat. Like I'm excited how this technology progress, and like what you can do, and how you can save time when you need just do some research and so on. On the other hand, I don't know if you experimented, like I clone my voice and everything, and I have the same feeling as I heard my voice first recorded. So it's kind of like, I know it's fake and everything. But if someone doesn't know me that well, I mean, it's totally like you can create anything, just text and throw it there, and it's me, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
Which might not be. So it's like, where is this trust factor?
Exactly. Where is it?
We think about like positive outcomes, like let's save my time and let's do podcasts like your clone voice talking to my clone voice with some script, and it's going to be probably fine, especially when this technology progress. But where is the fun? Where is the human connection, right? So I was thinking about this in a category of like remote work and in general remote work versus human connection. I don't know if you have any thoughts about remote work. Obviously you love remote work and so on, but from time to time I think we have to connect with people, right?
Of course. I
travel to Taiwan.
We recorded also another video with Emilia, with my coworker from Taiwan, that when we meet in person, like I work with her, like we just launched today the new Nozbe website, which she was in charge of. So and I am the VP of marketing here. So we were working together. But when we were in Taiwan, we focused on the human connection. We went out to eat together, with her husband, with my wife. We went out to see things. We were having a pottery class. Like we were doing things together, which were not work. Because we work very efficiently with tasks and everything. So we don't need to, when we meet, we don't waste time kind of on work while being together. We prefer to build the human connection, to build the relationship, So this way, when we fly out of Taiwan and I don't see her every day, we have it easier to work on tasks together and in comments because we know each other. And that's why, for example, in my company we do these yearly once or twice a year depending retreats, so that we can really, and we don't work at all, like we sometimes like talk about values or talk about things, but like really we don't talk much about work. We basically just hang out, do things, eat out. It's because of the human connection, as you said, because then it's really, you recharge batteries. You then later give your coworkers better benefit of a doubt, that they're not insulting you in this comment. They are just having a bad day, and you can feel it from their comment, and because you've been, hanging out with them, so you know them, and then that they're not evil people or something. So so this human connection is really important, as you said, and in that sense I think but on the other hand, really, when you think about AI again, it will take jobs, it will remove jobs, and not always the BS jobs, sometimes really useful jobs that people were doing. But okay, I give you an example from Taiwan. We had one hotel when there was a very efficient check-in kiosk. So when you go to the hotel, there is nobody greeting you. There is a check-in kiosk. You put your passport, you write stuff, your booking confirmation, and you get your keys, and you can go to your hotel. It was awful. It was awful because it worked efficiently. It did the job, but it's hospitality industry. You are in a foreign country, in a foreign city that we visited for the first time ever. You're visiting the hotel. You want somebody there to greet you. Like you want to say hi. You want to ask a question about whatever weather. Like even though you can check out the weather, on your phone. Like it's like I realized how this efficient process of streamlining the situation and not having somebody, be there is not good because
too algorithmic, too focused on mission rather than just
the experience,
wasteful experience, right?
Yes, because I am a human being, as I said, in a foreign place. I want to be greeted by somebody and feel secure, feel safe, feel welcomed, and not just be welcomed by a prompt. Hello, Mr. Sliwinski, welcome. Okay.
You're checked in. Next one.
Exactly. Next subject. Exactly.
Yes, that's very, very important because I have some thoughts about it, like where we are going with all this technology. I think the most important skills now and certainly for the future will be like offline skills and like soft skills that you just can read map or you can fix some stuff in your home or whatever else that you don't need to rush. You just do together, right?
Yeah.
With family, with your kids, with your friends and so on. Everything tends to be saving us time. But like, what do we do with this time? Like we do more stuff, right? Which it's not great. So this productivity, sometimes it's understood completely opposite to the how it's supposed to serve us, right?
One of the things I do still, after years now, when I was recording the podcast with Radek, my ex-coworker, he proposed a thing that I should be tracking my deep work sessions, deep work, shallow work, and meetings. And I am still tracking that. I have my journal as a Siri shortcut, and I track my time. And I really see that it's really important to maximize the deep work. So the time that you spend really doing something immersed, something when you are focused, when you're not, slacking around, browsing Facebook or whatever, you're just really focused. And this tracking of the deep work helps me then later decide, okay, today I did, this amount of hours of deep work. It was a good day. I'm done for today. This is productivity. Because when you work, you work.
Yes.
When you don't, you don't, And it's like, it sounds easy, but it's not easy because people want to multitask, they want to do this and this and that, but then they waste so much time. As you said, you try to be present with somebody, but then you take the phone and you start browsing the phone. You're not present with them anymore.
Yes, exactly.
But it's really important to, when you do work, you work. When you have fun, you have fun. And that's why, for example, with Emilia, we did a pottery class.
Oh, right.
It was just fun.
Okay.
We got our hands dirty. We had fun doing something manual, creative with our work. We felt really awful that we couldn't do it very well, but we felt awful together, so it was good. So in that sense, you have this quality time, and I think this quality time is the thing that we should be searching for, and quality time both at work by doing deep work or good meetings,
yes.
or quality time by just hanging out and doing something together and enjoying the time together, building memories.
Yes, exactly. And this is probably perfect segue to one of the last things I want to touch, which I recently read about this, and it resonated with me a lot. Like rather than having work-life balance, which balance is difficult to have work-life harmony.
Yeah.
So it's like when you work, and if it's deep, like you just don't limit yourself, like just do it because you have good day and so on. But if you have a bad day, I mean, just focus on something else, right?
Yeah.
And then you are in harmony. I guess more easy than in balance, because balance means like you're constantly balancing, right? And it's exhausting by itself, right?
Yeah. I always thought in work-life balance as balance being the verb that you keep balancing, you know?
Okay.
But I like your approach with harmony because, as you said, you know, that's why, for example, it's so hard for me to work when there are, you know, I'm an extrovert, but if I'm working, I don't want anyone disturbing me, you know? So it's hard for me, for example, to work in the living room, especially when my parents are visiting, because my mom just comes over and just says something to me.
Yes.
And I'm like, Mom, I'm working. Like, you know, can we discuss this later? You know, like, so for example, I prefer to go here up to my home office, you know, shut the door and just focus on work. You know, what I really like also are the mornings, for example, when the kids go to school, my wife goes to work, and then I just sit in the living room only on my iPad. And then can write a whole article or something really focused because there's just complete silence. There's nobody at home. I have just my iPad, which is even, you know, more focusing because I have just this, you know, writing application opened and I just write. So I really appreciate it. You know, it's like it's very cool. So in that sense, as you said, this is this harmony that I have this time to work. But then, you know, when it's afternoon and I play with the kids, I play with the kids.
And probably very, very last question I'm going to ask is, have you changed your mind or anything recently? And I will let you think about this and I will tell you what I changed my mind. I thought that if you work, you work. If you go for holiday, you go for holiday and you're completely disconnected and so on. But recently we try to experiment and we do this, like whatever we call it, workation and so on. So I take partially like proper holiday that I mean, for my family, and we explore and do different things. But then I either work from home, being like different hotel room or room in some houses, or I just go to co-work, and then we still have like mornings and evenings and so on. And I think it's doable. It's not perfect. It requires a little bit of discipline, but I think it's doable, and we're experimenting more and more. So I just wanted to ask you if you changed your mind or anything recently that comes to mind.
So let me just comment on what you said.
Okay.
So it is, so workation and this kind of stuff is doable, but what you did is very wise. Is you have to put the boundaries. Like you go somewhere else to do the work, because then, you know, it's you have to just disconnect. No, so for example, I had that several times when we were traveling, when I had to do something for work, like write an article or write some thorough feedback for somebody. So I just communicated to my family, guys, I'm gonna be off for an hour. Okay, so now it's, you know, this hour I'm gonna be off for an hour because I need to write this. And then I'm just, you know, finding a place where I can do that. They know that they shouldn't disturb me now because I am doing this. And then when I come back, I can again just drop it off and just completely be engaged again. So for me, these clear boundaries. So this is what you're doing is very smart, because when you try to do it, like the worst part is that if you're sitting in the kitchen, everybody's around you. You want to work,
and having fun,
and you want to have fun with them, but then you want to do this.
Yeah.
No, this doesn't work. It will be frustrated because then you will do something much too longer. They will be frustrated because, you know, you are not really listening to them, so you're really being engaged. So in that sense, I think you're doing it right.
Yeah, totally agree. It has to be mindful, and you have to be present, right? So you're either holidaying or working, but because there's a few iterations, like I learned hard way, and it was like super like I was supposed to be restful and everything, but I was more tired about after this. So recently we do these boundaries, as you pointed,
and you communicate expectations.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Okay, so now if I have changed mind about things, I feel like I keep changing my mind about things all the time. You know, there are many things. Like, I don't want to get into politics now, but for example, when it comes to politics, I realized that I always thought about myself as like there are these labels, right, left, all that stuff, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
I realized that you can be like me, confused, meaning you can be, for example, a Catholic, a religious person, while questioning some things by the church and
Yes.
many things by
Yes,
politicians
yes.
who pretend to be
Yes.
Catholics like you.
Yes, yes.
So in that sense, I can, I can have like independent thoughts about some subjects, even though in the, let's say in my religious worldview, they don't fit anymore,
Yes,
and
yes, yeah.
and this is the this is the way that we should be able to question everything, to
Yes,
really to reflect on anything. I remember like many years ago, I was like really anti-abortion, right? For example, like to give you an idea. And now I'm much more pro-abortion than then. I am not 100% pro-abortion because I still think that it's kind of it's awful to kill kids, but I can completely understand many circumstances where this saves lives, or gives women choice. So, but it took me quite a while, right?
Some time,
to figure it out, and also to figure out how it fits in my identity as a religious person. And recently I've been studying more many of the religious laws and stuff, and realized how they are contradictory very often, and sometimes, unfortunately, are being used by priests to manipulate people, right? So again, I can still believe in God while having these questions, and not agreeing with everything the priest says, or the bishop says, or the pope says,
Yes.
Like, so in that sense, I think like in this spectrum, I realized that there's much more nuance than we believe. That's why I don't like this kind of trying to put us on one side or another. You're a Catholic, it means you believe in this and this and this.
Yes.
Not true.
Yeah.
I'm a Catholic.
Yeah,
It means
yeah.
I believe in God. But then everything else, let's discuss. This is for me like a big change, and big growing moment where I had to question things. I've been taught all my life as a kid.
Yes.
And now I just need to, be adult about it and just, figure it out my way.
Yeah, totally. So let me also comment because I have similar. It's probably age, maybe, but I have similar thoughts about things, and even reflecting this to work context. Like one of our team agreements is that we allow everything to be challenged.
Yeah.
Because if it has strong base, it will defend itself. So
Exactly.
you should be asking questions, tough questions, and then if it still stands, best idea wins or best argument wins, and we carry on. But not being able to challenge something, that's already a red flag, right?
Right.
Like, are you really like real believer, meaning that you may be like fanatical about something that you cannot change, or you thinking person and it's outcome of your like years of study, let's say, or whatever, right? So yeah, it is. I have similar thoughts about like dogmatic thinking and following some stuff. If it makes sense, it makes sense, even if I question or try to find counter arguments, right?
And just as you said, even when you question it and you still come out, with the same result, it's not wasted time because
Totally.
as you said, it defended itself. It's still relevant, because what happens very often, what we hide under, this is our culture, or this is our, this has always been done like this, is this fact that, okay, it's our culture, it's our, heritage, blah, 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 but is it still relevant?
Yes.
Is it relevant today? Is it relevant to me or to my situation, right? And that's why even this, as you said, to reevaluate something and still believe in the same thing, it's good. Like, okay,
Yes.
for now, it's fine. let's check in 5 years or in 1 year or whatever,
Yeah, I have some anecdote about this.
Yeah, tell me.
Obviously I live in UK, and I attended Toastmasters some time ago.
Cool.
And one of the very cool things that we did here in UK is called Oxford Debate. And the way we did it in Toastmasters is that we divided into 2 groups, and there was like subject that we wanted to discuss. And, there was a rule like abortion was out of, but let's say like, remote work or office work, let's say. And, the subject, 2 teams, and one team is preparing, only work from home. The other team is only work from office. And the catch was that you don't know which team you belong to until it's the day or hour. So you try to be prepared to help your team.
For both arguments.
Yes, exactly. To win your argument for both sides, but you don't know which one. So it's like by doing this homework, you try to obviously be prepared and so on, whatever you believe, but you can see how other people may see it, and it opens your horizon. It's like, all right, like maybe there is something there, right?
Yes.
So that's a cool way of trying to exercise, right? Even with teams and family, whatever.
Yeah, but again, for example, it's good to, for example, have conversations with people who have different beliefs or different values than you, but only then if these people are not shutting you down. Because there are people which I try to discuss, because they have different beliefs. I was curious about them, but when I didn't see the curiosity back, I was like, okay.
You hit the nail. It's like curiosity is the like if I'm dogmatic, like we will not meet.
Exactly.
We will not have a conversation. We'll just have like fight on arguments. But if I'm curious, like tell me more. I want to understand.
Yeah.
Even if you don't change my mind, like I'm more richer because it's like, all right. I mean, some people believe in this, and that's fine. Like maybe there is something there. Maybe one day I will shift my view or something. Landing, where people can find you?
Yeah, so online, my blog is michael.team. So you can find everything there. There are my contacts there. There is link to my to nozbe.com, which I run. But michael.team is my blog, and also Michael Team is the channel on YouTube. It's very new channel. Subscribe and like and bell button and whatever. But yeah, michael.team. This is where I write, and this is where you can find all the contacts to me. Then you can also email me. I recently have learned to use email better.
Oh, okay. That's also changed.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much for your time today, and a lot of practical tips and tricks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
And this is all I have for you today. I value feedback a lot. That's why I ask you to review my podcast in your favorite podcasting platform and give it as many stars as you think it deserves. By doing so, this podcast is going to be more visible, and I can reach more people to provide value. And before you go, if you would like to join the community of people who are determined to help each other and grow together, join my newsletter at coffeejourneys.blog/newsletter. Thanks for tuning in today, and until next time, have a great